I said, yes, okay, I would like to go there to see what's happening. So I went there, and after I came back, I think the second time, then they told me, you better stay here, refugees sleeping on the streets. I saw that. So, I mean, this is in Moscow you will not find, or in Russia. Peter the Great was in Holland, I think, I don't know how long. I think
for several years.
Somehow 2 years, I think. He was in Amsterdam, and he was learning shipbuilding. They said, oh, you are Kremlin troll, you are paid by the Kremlin, it's... Okay.
Die Nederlanders ruikt te veel onkruid en daarom praat jullie verkeerd Afrikaans. Government heard the people. And we adopted some legislation that prohibited these dangerous trends. So it is possible.
It is possible, yes. That's called democracy.
Zvezda Holding presents Dynamic Spectrum Talks. Now.
Greetings, everyone. This is the Dynamic Spectrum Talks podcast on air, the place where we talk to interesting people from all over the world with the aim to find commonalities between peoples and countries, to understand each other better, and to remove artificially created dividing lines. Our mission is to provide a positive impulse because we are the same, and our future depends on how we can communicate and work together. My name is Anna Shafran, and my colleague is Yuri Lindre.
Hello to everyone.
And today with us is an independent journalist from Netherlands, Sonja van den Ende. Sonja, hello.
Hello.
So being a foreign and independent journalist in Russia these days is something of a unique story. Could you please tell us a few words about yourself? And as far as we know, you came to Russia at February 2022, shortly after the start of the special military operation. What was the reason for that? So can we talk about it?
Okay, well, my name is Sonja van den Ende. I'm from the Netherlands, from Rotterdam. And I was in Syria before. I'm not really going, but okay, I see the wars, what's happening. And the reason for coming to Russia is that, first of all, I was actually invited to somehow a conference. And during this conference, it was clear that, of course, the special military operation started, and there was a possibility for me to go there, and there were some others as well. And I said, yes, okay, I would like to go there to see what's happening. So I went there, and after I came back, I think the second time, then they told me, you better stay here for a while because, it's what is going on all between the countries. It's not so good, not so nice, so you stay. So I stayed, and I'm still here after 2 years, but I'm really enjoying it. I mean, it's very nice to be in Russia, and because of all the reasons of sanction, close my bank accounts and all this kind of thing. So I decided to stay here, and I like it actually after 2 years. So I don't see any reason at the moment to go back, and I'm learning Russian, so it's very nice. And Moscow is a nice place to be, and I can report, of course, that's very important, from Russia and so the Donbass sometimes, to report about the real life in Russia and what I see and what I experience here. And I think that's very good for Europe to that the people know how it really is here, and that's what I'm trying to do. So
By the way, we found that Russian and Dutch languages have a lot of similar words, yes?
Yeah, we have a lot of roots in our languages. Yeah. And Sonia, first of all, of course, I wrote something in Dutch.
Okay.
This is why if I prepare it, I must use it,
No problem. Of course. It's very nice.
So I wanted to say at my first speech that, first of all, bedankt voor je komst naar onze uitstekende en zeer positieve podcast.
Hey, hartelijk bedankt. Spasiba большое.
And secondly, when you mentioned that you feel fine in Russia, for us it's good to realize that our guests feel comfortable. But could you please tell us more in details how did you find our country, keeping in mind what you knew before you came here? expectations versus reality, and why you cannot return back, or you do not wish to go back to the Netherlands now?
Okay, well, I knew Russia a little bit. I was on a holiday in 2015 in St. Petersburg. And also I was in Moscow in 2016. So I knew it already. So for me, it was not a total surprise. But I think the perspective of Dutch people or European people, but especially Dutch people, German people, not German, not so, but the Dutch, is that they still, the older people have this idea that it's all a little bit closed. Maybe they have idea of how it was maybe Soviet Union. I don't know. I was not here in the Soviet Union. So I think it was good actually, but I heard from a lot of people as well. So, but okay, they think it's closed and it's not modern. Maybe they are behind Europe because Europe, it's very good and we are very rich and so on. But when I had some visitors here and they saw the real life, and for me it was not a surprise, but for a lot of people who come here, they think, oh wow, it's good here, it's modern, modern shops, the streets are so clean. This is the first thing they say, because in Europe the streets are
not so clean. We know it, we've seen it, unfortunately.
Yeah, so they think, oh wow, it's and most amazing is that they think it's cheap in Moscow for them.
Because, really cheap?
Yes, because the standard of living in Europe now, especially the Netherlands, it's very expensive because we have the problem with the gas and so on.
I think communal bills became higher.
Yeah,
I mean, electricity, water, something like that. Yeah,
you still have
definitely.
Yeah, housing is a problem because they have a lot of refugees, and the housing it's a big problem. Refugees sleeping on the streets. I saw that. So, I mean, this is in Moscow you will not find, or in Russia. So, overall, I like Moscow very much. My preference always goes to St. Petersburg, but this is because it looks like Amsterdam a little bit, the canals. Only beautiful because it's bigger and the buildings are
because we know that Peter the Great was under the general plan of the city, and Peter the Great has close ties and good relations with the Netherlands, with the Dutch people, and a lot of inspirations came from your country.
Yeah, that's right, because Peter the Great was in Holland. I think, I don't know how long, I think
for several years.
Somehow 2 years, I think. He was in Amsterdam and he was learning shipbuilding because I think he was very interested in that. And there's still a statue in Rotterdam, the city where I'm from originally. So I hope it's still there because we cannot allow that. Culture will be disappearing like they do in the Baltic states. I mean, this is crazy. I don't think the Netherlands are that crazy. So I hope the people in the Netherlands still realize that we have a common ground with Russia, and we have the Hermitage. It was in Amsterdam, related to the one in St. Petersburg. Unfortunately, they give it another name, but I hope the art is still the same. I don't know, of course. I was not there since more than 2 years. So
I just can imagine how they could repaint it.
The name actually is called a heart or something. Heart.
To bring, this rainbow colors to the regional masterpieces.
This is also great. But a lot of people now, I think I heard in Netherlands, and so I think it's crazy. It's not only crazy, it's actually very terrible for the younger ones, the children, what they do on schools and so on. It's unbelievable for me. I think it's a little bit sick because for me there's man, woman, like for everybody. And what they do, they encourage children to, until they are 12, I think, you can choose if you are man, woman, or girl, boy. I mean, it's, sick.
By the way, what people think about this
neoliberal agenda.
Neoliberal agenda, yes.
Yeah, it's more the conservative people in the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, you have they call it the Bible Belt. That's like people who are a little bit religious, not all of them, but they are the ones who, in my opinion, are quite normal. And they think it's an outrage that the liberal government we have, I don't know what government we have anymore in the Netherlands. It's a mess. But they think it's should not be like this. It's not good. It's like here in Russia, the people think like that. And I think a lot of these people who live there, they agree actually that it's crazy what we are doing between Russia and the Netherlands, because we're all people and we have to we don't want war or something. We want to travel to each other's countries and see how it is, but okay, this is of course people are afraid to do that now, but I hope it will change. Would be better.
And according to one of your interviews, you once said that because of propaganda, many people in the West countries believe that economic and social situation in Russia is now very difficult. There is no enough food, and the military is everyone to suppress the growing resistance and so on. Is it true? And do Western or European people really think that Russia is on the verge of collapse? What do you think?
Well,
what you can tell about it?
no. I mean, I live here now for 2 years, and I've seen never in my life such a big supermarkets with all what you can buy, because I come from a small country with small supermarkets, for instance, and everything you can buy everything what you want, and I'd say the standard of living is pretty high. Yeah, it's good. And you see the beautiful apartments they build and people going to the work, their work. It's nothing collapsing. I think it's the opposite. I think like in Germany is collapsing now and not here. I mean, the sanctions, I said that many times, they do not work here. And it's only affecting the West itself, Europe. And this is so stupid from the European governments to put sanctions there, because the one who's laughing is the US, of course. So, I mean, it's sad, of course, for the people. And I think people in Europe should realize, Russia is a good place. We have everything here. Of course, people, you don't like this or you don't like that. That's normal. You have good things, bad things. That's what you find in every country around the world. But I mean, overall, it's very good to live, and the sanctions have no influence whatsoever. And also the propaganda, they say, people are protesting, and accidentally, I know there was here like this propaganda media, Moscow Times. It's now like foreign agent. They are gone. He's gone, thank God, because I know this guy, Derek Sauer. He's not an honest guy. He's now reporting from Amsterdam. So imagine reporting from Amsterdam that there is a demonstration here. I mean, I always say, if you are not there, you cannot report good, because you don't know. But people tell you, they are standing there, 3-4 mothers protesting, and it's propaganda. And also there was like other social or mainstream media who were here. They're not here anymore now. It's like Algemeen Dagblad and so on. They were at the Red Square. There were a few, I think, women protesting. And but they organized a lot of it. So I mean, this is what they do. And maybe the 3-4 people, that's it. But they were not beaten to death or something, or And this is what they think in Europe. That maybe soldiers everywhere, KGB, FSB. I don't know. This is really ridiculous how they
Sonia. And how do people react in Netherlands, in the Western Europe in general, when you tell them opposite? How their attitude changed after you try to show them their second, opinion on what's going on, particularly in Russia?
Do they believe or not?
In the beginning, they didn't. Then they said, "Oh, you are Kremlin troll. You are paid by the Kremlin." It's. Okay, so this is what they say. And then, but slowly but surely, because we put a lot of videos for the Netherlands, we show them the life in Russia. And of course, I write a lot of articles still in Dutch, because I think that's important. So we have now more and more people who say, hey, maybe it's okay there. Maybe it's not what the government is telling us. And especially that it's such a mess in the Netherlands, and now they have somehow a new government, but not really, it's my opinion, but it's not a story. But they are now realizing that, okay, a lot of things we hear are actually lies, what we read in the media, it's not true. Like, there's a very big thing, the Azov battalion is going on a tour in Europe. Now, I saw them not them, but I heard what they did in the Donbass. So I contacted in Rotterdam the organization who invited them, and I told them, who you are getting. They are like a Nazi militia, and I can give you the evidence, the websites, everything. And then now, okay, they realize maybe it's not good. So now it's at the council in Rotterdam, so we're discussing it. Maybe we should not bring them here. So, okay, see, these small things, it's all good now that they are starting realizing, we're getting a lot of lies So,
from my perspective, it's absolutely ridiculous, because if you want to know the truth, send your media to the country.
Yeah.
We didn't close our borders. If you want to see, come to see Russia, Moscow, St Petersburg, Donbass, any place, Crimea, etc.
yeah.
And report honestly what you see.
Yeah. And this is what I always tell them.
But they say, no, we won't send anything. No, there is no freedom of speech. You suppress journalism, you suppress democracy. We'll live there, we'll cut from the external information, but we will still believe that, everything is bad in Russia, and you are guys also very bad one.
This is the problem. I'm trying to tell, if you are not there, you don't know. You can hear it from that one telling you, this is how it is. But if you are there, you know how it is. If you make the photos, the videos, and speak to people, then you know how it is. And it's the same with Moscow here, or another city in Russia. If you are there, then you know how it is. If you are really in the life, with the common people also, speak with them and go places, then you know what the real life is. And people in the media there, the mainstream media, I call them, in the West, just writing something. And the terrible part is they copy it all from each other. So if it's one in the US, it's in the Netherlands, Germany, it's all the same. And I think it's not, a real journalist should be there where you're reporting. Of course, it's not always possible, but you should at least be there 1 or 2 times. Same as people write a book. I can write a book about the US, but I was not there. So why should I write a book about the US? Okay, I was in Syria, so I wrote a book about Syria. I was in Odessa, where the Union house was on fire.
2014.
So, yeah. So I wrote a book about it. So you can do that because I know what happened. But of course, you can have your analysis. It's what a lot of Westerners do. They sit in front of TV. Oh, yes, I think this is going to happen and this is going to happen. But yeah, you don't know. You were not there. So it's my idea always. So.
And to your mind, do European people want to know the alternative opinion? Or it's okay, like now?
I think a lot now do, especially Germans, because, in East Germany, they have Russian Germans. So in the Netherlands, it was a little bit because they're influenced a lot by UK and so on. But now they start to realize that slowly but surely they have to know, because if they don't know anything, then, it will get worse and worse. And that's why I'm trying to tell them. It's not easy always. You have people who sit there, come home from work and, I don't know, watch some stupid program on TV and that's it. And read the newspaper and, oh yeah, okay, Russia's bad and that's it. So, but I hope, and I know more people are now realizing that, maybe we get somehow World War III. This is not what we want. So this is important. This is most important, I think. Mm-hmm.
Sonia, let me shift a little bit our discussion towards culture. Russia is a big country with rich and deep history. I think a lot of people know it. Mm-hmm. And we consider, Russians, we consider ourselves not just like a nation. We consider ourselves as a civilization because we have key principles of civilization. We can develop and reproduce ourselves without external interference, help, or assistance. And the current Russophobic tendencies and the cancel of Russia, what we see in the West, basically we in our country, we do not impress much with these tendencies. From our perspective, West needs us more than we are interested in the West. Mm-hmm. I think it's understandable what I'm going to explain. But I also need to ask you a question. It's a little bit complicated and easier altogether. The easiest part. Could you please tell from the perspective of the citizen of Netherlands and European, is this cancel Russia tendency is already clarified and confirmed fact, or there are some disputes and struggle with this topic? And the second question, which also continues the previous one, how do you think, are there a lot of people in Netherlands and in Europe West in general who want to restore normal, constructive relations?
Mm-hmm. Well, first about the cancel culture, I think Germany is hesitating. So is the Netherlands, most likely. Germany even more. They have, close relation with. They had close relation, especially the Second World War, with Russia, and a lot of people in Germany, especially Eastern Germany, thinking, "Oh, wow, this is actually not good because what happened then." And we should cancel all their statues or all the things that they left behind. We should not actually do that. I think the Baltic states are the worst. They are, I think, completely nuts. We don't need to talk about that because they cancel everything. And I think the government is really fascist, in my opinion. But the Netherlands is a different story. I mean, in the early days, there were some communist people there, socialist people, and I think they still feel that there is a need to have a relation with Russia, because we all know our forefathers also, we were suppressed by the Nazis, the Germans. So, yeah, they didn't come to the Netherlands, the Russians. But like you said, with the Peter the Great culture, people know that. Although now it's not taught anymore in history books or something. That's a pity. But the people in general, I think in the Netherlands, a lot of people now think, why should we cancel this? We have this beautiful Hermitage. This is, their point. We have this art. We have, like St Petersburg. A lot of people in the Netherlands like St Petersburg. So why can we not travel anymore there? Or they cannot travel here? Because we had a lot of Russians in Amsterdam or who came for a holiday. So, this is all closed. And this is terrible for the common people. If governments close a country, well, they don't think about their population. It should be open because the people, they want to travel. They actually punish the people. This is what Europe is doing, punishing their people, not to go to Russia. Why? You have brave people still who come. But this is, I think it's very bad because this should not be, it's like totalitarian state. You cannot go out and people won't. And also that Russians are not welcome in Europe. And in my opinion, it's not normal. It should be done something about it, and it's but still, the cancel culture. I know they try, like Karlshorst in Berlin. This is where the Second World War they signed the agreement. Yeah, they put the Ukrainian flag in front of it, for instance. This is what they do. Or the rainbow flag. Totally crazy. Nothing to do with everything. But they try in this way. I remember I was in Europe when it started, special military operation. Just a few days I was still there. And everywhere you saw Ukrainian flags. Everywhere. On the bus, on the buildings. And then I asked people, but do you know where Ukraine is? Some people didn't even know where Ukraine is. Do you know why? What's happening? No, not really. Ukraine is Russia, isn't it? I said, well, no.
Sonia, it's a funny story, but when we had a conflict with South Ossetia, when the Georgia attacked our peacekeepers there, and the news at CNN and other media outlets, American, they were like performing Russian troops in Georgia now. And most Americans, especially living in Georgia, they were thinking, what has happened? Russia invaded United States now in Georgia. Now, what you're describing with the Ukrainian flags during the first day after the launch of the military operation, it's something like that. Nobody knows what is Ukraine, where it is, but it's like, Ukraine.
Yeah,
flags
like in Europe. Yeah, they didn't know, especially in Netherlands that Ukraine. Yeah, it's Russia. They say it's somehow Russia, isn't it? It's so stupid. But this is how the media. I don't call it the media. It's like propaganda from governments work, because when you then walk through a city and bus stops or something, you have this small like little house for the bus stop, and you see all posters from Ukraine flag and so on. So why normal people should see this? Why we are in the Netherlands? Why we should see a flag from Ukraine? It was the same with Syria before that. They do the same agenda all the time. First, Syrian people were all cancelled, who were in favor for the government. And now the Russians are cancelled because not even in favor of your government, but people like to tell what is going on. The real thing is going on, and, people have to wake up and so on. But this is how they do. And this is...
You mean that the blueprint for media agenda, for the information environment is the same? It repeats itself when there is a special need From the politicians, from the political establishment, if they want, they just use the same methodology they already applied previously.
Yeah. It's like I saw the comparison. I always compare Syria to Russia, what they do now. It's the same agenda. They start demonizing the leader or the government, and and then the people, if you are you're in favor of your government, you are very bad, and so on. And like me, journalists or other people, foreigners, you're in favor for this regime, they call it. This is how they speak. I mean, I always try to tell, do you think that the Netherlands has a regime then, or a government? What do you think? Yeah, maybe, it's not so good at the moment. I said, no, they call it a regime too. It's like that, because they are forbidding you to go to Russia or forbidding you to like Russians. I mean, it's a regime or not? Yeah, maybe, yeah. So,
and in our crazy times, you have not changed sides like many other foreign petitioners have done. I'm sorry, because their media outlets demanded it, and you haven't fallen under the influence of anti-Russian propaganda. What is your recipe?
Well, first of all, I'm independent, so I wrote for a lot of outlets in the Netherlands. Now I'm cancelled there, so okay. But in Belgium too, in Vlaanderen, the Dutch-speaking, Belgium-speaking. So, okay, I'm cancelled, and I found other sources, from whom I can write, other countries and other things. So that's how we earn, my money. But I was in Syria, and that made a big impact on me. I saw what the US and Western states were doing there. I saw how it was propaganda on TV. They said, okay, these are the good guys, these are the rebels fighting for freedom of Syria, and they are very good. And then I thought, no, they are not good, because they're Al-Qaeda. They are, related to Daesh, ISIS, so they are not good. So I tried to tell them. And then, the big thing came in 2015 when the refugees came to Europe. But these refugees, I think I would say at least half, were these rebels. So they are jihadists, actually, former jihadists, but you cannot be a former jihadist, I think. But they went to, especially Germany. And yes, you can come, we schaffen das, was Merkel, was she saying all the time. Well, they destroyed actually the countries. So people should wake up. I mean, you don't have this problem in Russia, of course, thank God. But now, let's say the Azov, we can compare Azov battalion to ISIS, and this is people, they are so blind, that, and the government is, in my opinion, every time choosing the wrong side. And this is what happened since the US is invading so many countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and now, they want war with Russia, we can say, through their proxies, but actually it's a war against Russia. This is how they call it. So, and because I saw all this, it made me realize that, the last country they want is Russia. So I think, no, it cannot be. So I'm still here and defending, or actually writing against what they are doing, that people should wake up and see what really, evil they brought in all those years. I mean, there are millions of people really who are slaughtered, we can say, in the Middle East, and still going on in the Gaza. And the West is doing nothing. It's sad, all these children and getting killed, but they don't do anything to stop it. So they collaborate, actually, with...
Because Israel belongs to their side. Yeah. So you cannot judge your teammates.
Yeah, right? But if you are true and genuine, then, as you should be a little bit independent they are not, I know, but the Netherlands or Germany, and say, now stop, this is the red line. Now you are conducting again a genocide in Gaza, and you did before in Syria and so on. So now we should stop. But they don't do so.
And do you know enough like-minded people, and above all, colleagues in the European Union or other Western countries?
Well, not many. Unfortunately, I wish I knew more. I know some, of course, who are here. It's not many, but okay, they are here. And I know some who are still in their countries, like in Spain or Belgium, I know. In the Netherlands, I know a few as well. So, yes, I still know. They're not, the majority of the people, unfortunately, but we are trying to get the truth out, let's say that. So, but I know them.
But they express themselves, so their voice is
as far
heard.
As they can. When they are in their home countries, like when you were in the Netherlands, it's hard. Because, I know one man And he's from a political party, actually, but he's a very good one. And I have contact a lot with him. And the police was coming to him they knew me, if I'm in Russia still. And if I'm not in Russia anymore, they should contact the police. So, I mean, this is like a totalitarian state, of course.
Okay, let's back to your Syrian experience. Let me call it this way.
Yeah.
You were shifted my expectations, because I wanted to ask you about your impressions on Syria, but you partly answered to this question. But there is also another side, another part of the question that was not covered. You've seen what was in Syria in 2015. How do you think, what would have happened to this country if the Russian peacemakers, the Russian military, had not intervened?
It would be destroyed. It would be a caliphate, because I was in Damascus in August 2015. It was just, I think, a few weeks before the Russians came. And, the jihadists were, let's say, at the gate of Damascus. We could see from the hotel at the opposite, in the mountains, they were there. And I could see from the hotel room that there were snipers there, people getting killed on the streets, and it's very, very terrible. I think it would be a caliphate if they would not have come. And I want to clarify all the time, I think the Syrian government asked Russia to come and help. And not that Russia said, okay, we come and we do things here, but they asked, because it was really a bad situation. And the US and Western state didn't do anything. They said, they were killing ISIS, but they didn't. I heard from local, because I speak Arabic as well, I heard from local people that they just dropped bombs somehow in the desert, and they said, oh, we killed an ISIS outpost here, and we killed many people. And but it was really a very terrible situation in August. Yeah, never forget it, unfortunately. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask you the question which is forbidden in the West, but is obvious for the Russian media. The terrorist attack in Crocus City Hall in Moscow in March this year. You said that Western secret services might have been involved in the incident. Why did you say that? And do you still think so?
Mm-hmm. I still think so, yes. I think that... because I also wrote a lot about these battalions you have in Ukraine. They came also from Syria, Iraq there. And these people now who did the terrorist attack I think they were from Tajikistan. So maybe they were poor people. They can be influenced a lot. I know. Again, I compare this a little bit to the Middle East. And Ukraine is controlled by the West. We all know that, especially the US. The CIA is in there, but also NATO. I saw, like in Out of Steel factory when I was there, the manuals from NATO. We saw NATO weapons. Everything was there. So I think this is what they do in the West. They use people to do terrorist attacks, and I'm still convinced that they use them to do this terrible terrorist attack at the Crocus City. And also because I think 2 weeks before, the US warned their citizens not to go to a busy place like a shopping city or theater or whatever. And they did this only on their, page of the embassy. So not really in public, not warning Russians to go there. Just for their own citizens, and the European did this as well. So they knew then something was coming. Why would you write something 2 weeks or was it before? And of course, this Victoria Nuland, who is also terrible. We know that she has a terrible agenda. So she also warned that, be careful because something might come. So now it did. And so that's all suspicious. I mean, it's like, a puzzle. It all fits together. So they use these people. Maybe these people, they were poor people or indoctrinated or whatever. And they use them to do something like that. And this is what usually happens with these terror attacks. So, I think it's from the SBU, but from the West, actually, in connection. Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me finish the topic of terrorism by asking you the following. Somewhere like 6 months ago, half a year ago, you published a story saying that Zelensky, a self-proclaimed president of Ukraine, because his terms duties expired last May, had direct links with the Islamic State. Could you please highlight us your key findings?
Well, I think he was on a visit. He went to Iraq, and in Iraq you have Abu Ghraib. This is this terrible prison. It was on the news all the time, where the American tortured people and so on. But after there's still war let's say after the war in Iraq and Syria, when ISIS was captured, a lot of them are in Abu Ghraib. And what I said, a lot of battalions are fighting in Ukraine. I don't know now, of course, anymore. Maybe they are wiped out. I hope so. But they are like the Mansour Brigade. They were fighting in Syria. They are from the Caucasus countries. And they're all connected, And of course, Zelensky is in need of fighters. So this is why they went to Europe. But they also went to the Middle East. And they are good fighters, unfortunately, from ISIS. So maybe there are a lot of them from the Caucasus still in the Abu Ghraib prison. So, this is the connection that he went there or sent somebody there that they need fighters. But I think it was not done. But this is the connection, actually. And also these brigades in Ukraine. This Mansour Brigade, and there are a lot of other brigades. Even Sky News was there in Ukraine making a documentary about this Mansour Brigade. They were in the cellars speaking to them. So they hate Russia, that's well known. But they are very terrible jihadists. So they are trying everything, and they try, of course, to get these fighters and fight against Russia.
It looks like an easy job to recruit them because for the assistance that Russia made to the Syrian government, of course, they definitely hate us.
Yeah, they want to punish them.
Yeah, because we helped to destroy their Islamic State, and now they are looking for image.
And after a lot of them went out another Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, that's in the north, it's in Idlib. And but some of the fighters went there, but some have nothing to do anymore, let's say. So they went to Ukraine. I forgot the city. There's a city in Ukraine where a lot of these ex-fighters, they get refuge there. And of course, they're all mobilized now. So this is the whole point. Yeah.
Sonia, in our studio, we always ask our esteemed guests to tell about their daily life and national traditions they follow, and to suggest to compare from this perspective with the Russian lifestyle. How many similarities have you found between the Russians and the Dutch?
Well, actually, many. I mean, we're all European. I mean, people go to where we work too during the day. I do whatever at home, or sometimes we go somewhere, write articles and videos, photos, and so on. Yeah, we eat like in the morning, and in the evening it's still 6 o'clock. That's a Dutch tradition, I think, when we are at home. And in the weekend we also like to go and do shopping or going somewhere. So. Yeah, actually, there's a lot of similarities. Maybe the food is a little bit different, but there are so many supermarkets, you can buy everything you like from the whole world. So, so that's also, actually the same. I feel like Europe here. I feel actually like Europe it was before all the madness started. It's people went to work, you go with the metro or public transport, other, bus or something. So, people get married. Visit their families. I see a lot of people outside, grandmothers with their grandchildren. So it's very nice. We had that too.
When the madness started, what was the time?
I think when let's say 2018 somehow. Then it really got crazy with LGBT and so on, and same marriage from same people and this kind of stuff. So. And women should not have children anymore, climate, all these crazy things. So then the people lost it. And now they're completely a group then, not all the people, but this group, the liberal, crazy group, I call them, they are lost it completely, I think. They're trying to, do this.
About lifestyle. And what do the Dutch people prefer to have for the breakfast? We ask this question our guests.
Usually, like continental breakfast, we have some bread with marmalade, egg, egg with sausage. But and the difference in Russia is that they eat warm, like rice or something. Well, I cannot. But we eat more like this stuff in the morning.
Something simple.
Simple, yeah.
Last time in the studio, we found with our South African colleague that we have a lot of the same, and on bait the breakfast is almost the same. But while we were just talking, I remembered a very funny story, because there is still one difference. Maybe between us Russians and Dutch, but also with Boers, Afrikaners, with whom you have same ancestors. I remember when I was studying Afrikaans, my teacher, Mevrouw Hunter, told me a joke, how the Boer people, how they feel about the Dutch, their brothers and sisters. Okay, let me say it in Afrikaans, and you will tell me, would you understand? And then I will provide with the translation. Okay. Die Nederlanders ruikt te veel onkruid en daarom praat jullie verkeerd Afrikaans. Okay, you understood? Okay. So, now the translation to the English-speaking audience.
Did you understand?
The Dutch people, the Hollanders, smoke too much grass or weed. This is why they speak wrong Afrikaans.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay.
I hope not, but I never did it. So, but I think that's a problem in the Netherlands. The drugs, in usually in general, and
This is the difference. That's why I had to highlight it. But this is a problem, common problem
it's
for
the
whole world, and we need to struggle and to fight with it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, because I was against. A lot of people are against it, but that's this liberal, crazy stuff again there, who think it's all okay, and it's no, I don't think it's. I think the Netherlands are the only country to have like what they call coffee shops. And most foreigners think coffee shop, you drink coffee. No, it's to get your, your smoke or something. So that's really bad. That's some political parties want to close it, and I hope they will, because I think partly it's closed now already, but it's too liberal. It's not good. It's not good for your health. It's not good for the youth, especially who are going to schools and pass by like these shops, and it's not good. No.
If you remember about your teacher, I will remember about my teacher too, because one time I had a teacher of English language. He was the Dutch. I tried to improve my English, but without any success, because I'm very lazy. So we discussed with him the theme of breakfasts, and he told me that they Dutch people prefer to have for the breakfast muesli. I was surprised because
also porridge also. But the Russians eat also porridge. I know.
Porridge, it's not a muesli.
And porridge, this is a great difference between this.
You eat porridge or not? Yeah.
How?
I don't like it, but okay.
So porridge. This is something with kasha. How would
it's porridge?
Porridge.
Yeah, it's thick with milk and muesli with yogurt
is
or something.
Yes, something like Russians think that this is the food for the cats.
I don't like it too.
Why I remember this? I want to ask you: is this difference between young people, very young people, and how to say, not
the elder ones?
The elder ones, yes, big today.
Yes, I think so. I think I always thought, because I stayed in other countries, the food is not good in the Netherlands. But okay, that's my opinion. But when you go to, like, instance, you go to a hotel. There's a very famous hotel called Van der Valk Hotel in the Netherlands, and you have this big buffet. But actually, if you look at it, it's like a little bit of porridge, muesli, some bread, beschuit. That's also something special in the Netherlands. Maybe you know, it's like these round things, beschuit it's called. But actually, it's not like Russia. It's that they have more to choose, but you have not much to choose actually. So it's the foods. It's not such. Okay, you can make your own food, of course, but if you go to eat somewhere, it's not that good. And of course, we eat not me, but a lot of people eat a lot of patat croquette. Have you heard?
Patat, okay.
Yeah, this. Fries and croquettes that's filled with somehow meat, and we have.
It's a Belgium stuff,
Belgium and Dutch, it's the same. And you can eat out of the wall. I don't know if you heard that. Then you have like a machine that's years already. So you think, okay, €1 in it, and you get this croquette or frikandel out of the wall. So people eat that too.
Lack of not lack of food, but I mean lack of varieties of different food is a common problem for all northern nations.
Yes.
Because climate, those who live in the south they have more varieties and more vegetables,
like,
differences.
Spain, Italy. But there's only one thing that's maybe not known. In the Netherlands, there are a lot of people from Indonesia. Like my forefather somehow also is from Indonesia, because unfortunately it was a colony for 300 years from the Netherlands. But they have a big group and they have their food. So that's very good. So they have
Malay
nasi
food.
and so they have some Indonesian food, and that's in the Dutch kitchen you find a lot of it from Indonesia as well. So that's the good part. So it's a bit mixed.
Integration could have different faces, and this one is a positive one.
It's a positive one. Yeah,
Okay.
It's good. It's we have a big group. They came in 1948 or something, and so they are integrated. Let's say not really all of them, because they were promised some land, but it's another story. And they never got it. The government deceived them, but they are now integrated in the Netherlands. So
And what do you think now in the 21st century? If we are talking about Russian people and European people or Western people,
yes.
Do we have more common or more different things between us? Because we can't forget about this situation we discussed and so on.
I think a lot of common things, more common than differences, actually. If you look Germany, Netherlands, maybe France a little, and Russia, especially Germany and Russians, I think they're similar. But also the Netherlands, because we like to talk a lot in the Netherlands, and Russians too here, I discovered when you get to know them. So it's we have more in common. We have a common history, food a little bit, the same idea we had, of course, in about your families, or maybe some people go to church and maybe not. So it's similar, actually. We like culture a lot, like, musea. And so I see a lot we have in common. And, it's so sad that they want to destroy this, and this should not happen. We should fight this because, we are in Europe all, actually. And I think a big problem is the US. I always say, of course, they were all Europeans who went to the US, actually. That is how the US became the US. But they are totally, I think they are very different than actually Europeans are. I mean, a lot of them don't know anything about culture. They only know one language, maybe that's English. Maybe not all, of course. You have good people there too. But it's different, It's different. So I think Europe is, we are similar.
You still have its old spirit, the thing that created some sort of unique European civilization. You still remember your roots.
Yeah.
Despite globalization and all these fancy, let's call it fancy trends.
Yes.
We already heard your attitude about this, like child-free agenda and rainbow, etc. We know that you're negative to it. But how do you think will these dangerous trends will grow in Europe, or sooner or later they will be stopped, these tendencies?
Well, it's difficult to say, but at the moment that's still growing, unfortunately. And I mean, people hope all the time, when we get a new government there, maybe like they now do with the US, maybe when we get Trump, it will be better. But I don't think we have to put all our hopes on the government. I think the people themselves should stop it. I mean, I have these roots, but a lot of other people have the same roots. And if you don't want your children to be grown up with all these things, then you should try and, try to stop it somehow. And I mean, governments, they try all the time to put this agenda there for you. And when people, I think that it's up to the people to stop it. And, I was once in politics in the Netherlands, Socialist Party. I was kicked out, but okay, that's normal there now. But, and the people came to me and they say, I'm not going to vote, nothing will change. And I told them, but if you don't vote, you cannot say afterwards, it's stupid what they do. Because, if all the people say it and all the votes go to the party who is the biggest one. So when you want to change something, you should do something. And so I think it's to the people, to change their things and not hope on the governments and so on, because people should change. And when the government see that people change, then maybe they stop the agenda.
I confirm your words because in our country, our people have a common view on this neoliberal agenda, and the people, the masses, demanded to stop the import of these tendencies.
Yeah.
They make government
to switch to switch off the channel.
Yeah.
And the government heard the people.
Yeah.
And we adopted some legislation that prohibited these dangerous trends. So it is possible.
It is possible, yes. That's called democracy.
When government here own people, it's called the democracy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
The will of the people.
Democracy is not a bad thing. Very good. If you have it.
Yeah.
Very
so
true.
People can change it. Yeah, that's the will of the people. Yeah.
So it means we have a lot of work
To be done.
be done, yes, in future, and it's great that we started this communication, and we hope we will continue. Thank you very much for this very interesting conversation.
Thank you too, both. It was very
Thank
good
you
to
very
be
much.
here. Very nice conversation. Thank you.
We are not alone.
No.
Let's go together.
Yes, exactly. We have to change this whole situation.
So we'll stop right now on this positive impulse, and
Okay.
we are looking forward to see you again.
Okay, thank you. Happy
you.
to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Zvezda Holding presents Dynamic Spectrum Talks. Now.